Hello, my friend. So, if you're watching this, that means that you have allowed me to run an inner voice scan for you, and you are likely looking at your report wondering, what does it mean? Maybe this is your first scan, or if it's your 100th scan, just know it's never a bad idea to get a refresher on what it all means because there's a lot to it. So, first of all, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to work with you on your emotions using the inner voice scanner. The second thing is just to let you know, as you probably already do, because I do talk about it so often, it is one of my favorite tools because it helps us see beneath the surface into our emotions, and understanding what they're trying to quietly communicate. In our world, it's so loud. So often we don't give careful attention to what our emotion body is saying. When we speak, our voice carries a frequency, patterns, if you will, that reflect how we're feeling, consciously and subconsciously. The tech that I use, the AO scanning device, listens to a short clip, the one you sent me, and it analyzes over 2,000 notes that are slightly out of balance. Keep that little phrase I just said in mind, slightly out of balance. You'll see four main colors. So if you have your inner voice, maybe pull that up as we're walking through, or four frequency zones on your report. These represent the tones or emotions that your body is trying to bring back into harmony. So remember, slightly out of balance, bringing back into harmony. When we look at our inner voice report, we're not looking for a chemistry diagnosis. We're looking for patterns, gentle ways that our body is trying to go, okay, I'm over here. I need to just shift back here. It's like walking on a balance beam, not even a tightrope, but a balance beam. Maybe if you remember being a kid, or if you're like me and you do this now, you're walking along a curb and you just so ever so slightly just course correct, shift a little bit as you keep your balance along that curve. Again, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It simply means that there's just an area asking for awareness, asking for support, or asking for release. So, along with that report, you also see that you've got four customized balancing tones. These are sound frequencies designed to help calm and realign your emotional energy. If you've used Inner Voice with me before, you may notice in the last few months, we're at the end of 2025, but in the last few months, they have shifted the audios. And so now they are custom, as they've always been customized to your specific need. But now they have all the orchestra that you hear the music is tuned to 444 hertz. 440, yes, I say that right. Just give another layer to healing. So if you're unfamiliar what 444 hertz does, and what it means for your body, I highly recommend you do just a little bit of research. That way it's really in you. When you research on your own, you'll never forget it. So listening to these tones, excuse me, ideally you want to use earbuds or headphones for a few minutes a day. Your customized audios come for about 12 to 13 minutes. And this will help to gently bring your emotions back into coherence. And when you listen, if you're wondering, what can I expect? Well, most people tell me they have a sense of calm. I know that's what I experience. Some have said that they have tears for releasing, or tears are like soap for the soul. It just gently washes what's unnecessary, and the tears help bring it out. Some even experience deeper sleep, creativity flows, a myriad of things could happen, all of which are very gentle, non-invasive, unintrusive, very kind to your emotion body. Everybody's experience is different, but the goal is the same: to support you in calmly and gently bringing your emotion body back into balance and peace. So, without further ado, let's go over my most recent report so that I can share this with you and you can see it in real time. So you can see this is my inner voice report, and I believe this is from just a few days ago. Yours will look exactly like this if you haven't gotten it already. You'll notice here at the top it says high frequencies. You've got D sharp, G, F, and then G sharp. I'm going to be absolutely straight up honest with you. This is not my jam. I have no idea what those mean for you. If you would like to speak to somebody who knows specifically if you're into music and want to know exactly what D, G, F, and G sharp mean, I can absolutely put you in contact with somebody. My job and my goal is to focus on your emotions and how your emotions could be energetically affecting the rest of your body. And we'll go over that in our scan here or in the report. So you'll come up with 4 different PDFs or 4 PDF, reports. At this time, I have emotionally disconnected, emotionally integrated, fear versus confident, conditional love versus unconditional love, and then suppressed emotional versus self-expression. These 4 titles I like to call conflicts, and honestly, I don't really pay much mind to them. And here's why. Over the last 3 years of diving into the inner voice for myself, my family, and all of my clients, what I have noticed is that these are more, if you picture an umbrella or even like a mobile, if you remember how babies will have the mobile and then the little things hanging from it. It's like we don't really pay attention to the mobile. The baby is more fascinated by the trinkets and baubles that hang from it. This is that. So what we want to do is really look at the 12 emotions that have come up. You'll see, I'll go back to my top one. In the top report, I've got rejection, resentment, and communication conflict. Going down, fear, deficient, nervous exhaustion, lack of feeling, fear and intimacy, and emotional inertia. And finally, rejection, depression, and frustration. Now, the order is important, how these come out. So you'll notice when I mentioned you've got the 3 highest frequencies versus the 1 low one. With my clients and with myself, I typically give more attention to the last one. So for me, in this case, would be suppressed emotion versus self-expression. That's our umbrella. And the emotions that are driving that conflict, that being suppressed emotional rejection, depression, and frustration. So these are the ones that I am unaware of. That really top of mind, I could probably say, yeah, lack of feeling, emotional inertia, especially with nervous exhaustion. Basically, I'm like, oh my gosh, sometimes the negative emotions that I'm feeling at the time cause me to just feel a bit stuck or just overwhelmed, right? I'm aware of that. But the one that maybe I'm not aware of, according to my report, would be the rejection, depression, and frustration. So when you're looking at your report, a savvy person like you, just give a little nod to the top 3, but look at the bottom one, because this is what your body is like. We are not even touching that. No biggie. If you don't want to dive into it, then just know when you're listening to your tones, the frequency, your inner voice, music will do the work for you. If you want to dive in a little bit more and say, where is this coming from? Is this mine? Is this familial? Whatever, then you can continue on that work and we can do some things together on that. And now again, the top 3, these are ones that you're most likely aware of. We could sit down together and talk about it a little bit, what was happening when you did this report. Were you thinking of anything specific that may have come up with rejection, resentment, that type of thing? I will, just a little secret, when I did this report, I was very frustrated and had come out of a heated discussion with somebody. So hence why rejection, resentment, communication, conflict. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's obviously what's going on. For you, since you are maybe not necessarily doing this every day, you're having me do this for you or somebody else. Maybe you're doing it for somebody else. The challenge comes in where most people just do, maybe they read a Bible verse or they do a 20-second recording really quick and don't even think of it. What we want to do is when you're recording your inner voice is you sit down, be still for a moment, drink some water, take a few deep breaths, cleansing breaths, so that anything, whether it is you just were in traffic a minute ago, you were at some sort of event and it was maybe tension, whatever negativity might be on you at that moment that is really not your stuff, you've just cleared it out. You take a good cleansing breath and then you speak your inner voice. This ensures that you're getting only your emotions, the ones that you really need to deal with or give attention to, the ones that your body is saying, hey, these are annoying. We want to deal with this. So when we go down and we look at, so you've got emotions, you've got vitals, potential causes and imbalances. Now, the potential causes and imbalances and suggestions is typically where my clients will go, oh my gosh, what is happening? Please remember, this report, as I said, the phrase I said is bringing things into balance. This is information only. This is frequency. This is not chemistry diagnosis. We are just looking for patterns. So if you look at mine, it's like, oh, 2 parasites on the top one and then a mold fungus. I do not have black mold in my house, I can assure you. I don't know about those parasites. When I go down, there's more parasites, testosterone hormone. Oh, look, more parasites, influenza. So really is we all know this, right? We've all become more conscious of what's in our food. What we're aware of, most people will have some sort of parasite. We're looking for patterns. So if I'm doing my inner voice report and every day, if I do it 5 days in a row, maybe a couple of weeks, and I'm noticing not just parasites, but the same parasites, and they're coming up over and over and over, I might say, you know what, it might be time to do a good parasite cleanse. So on the next full moon, when parasites are more active, I will begin using my the Root Brands is the one I like. And I would just start doing a parasite cleanse for 90 days and just see what happens. And also scanning to see, are these shifting? Just awareness. Nothing too dramatic. Influenza A, I didn't feel sick. Maybe my body's saying, hey, you were around somebody who had it, or I have the energetic frequency of it. I might look at that and maybe do a little more thieves oil. I might up my vitamin C, particularly this time of year as people around me are more sneezing. I don't know. It's information. I'm just taking it as I see it. Just, okay, we'll watch that next time. The vitals, this is what these emotions might be pulling on. Again, this is information. We're talking about energetic frequency. I've got a couple B vitamins that are seeming taxed. Maybe I'm not assimilating it as well as I could be because of these emotions. Maybe I need more. We'll see. Again, information. For the inner voice, I look for the emotions and see if these things come up again as far as the vitals, potential causes. If they once in a great while, all right, I won't pay it any mind. But if every time I do my inner voice, B5 comes up, I'm going to look at that a little bit more closely. The imbalances and suggestions. This one, especially for my clients and myself who exercise regularly, your hydration is really on point. Someone might look at this and go, I do exercise. I do manage stress as best I can, right? Get enough sleep. I stay mentally active, all of these things that it's coming up with. Again, I can't say this enough. This report is saying at this moment, when you spoke into it, this was a little bit out of balance or a lot of bit out of balance. This is just information. For me, it's funny because exercise regularly comes up in a lot of my imbalances. So what I have seen is that, exercise helps with your heart. It helps with your lymphatic system. And so paying mind to, let's say on this one, heart, manage, rest, exercise regularly. Well, probably because of those emotions, my heart isn't receiving all the benefits of proper exercise, manage stress. I personally, for me, would look at that and go, maybe I need to breathe more. Because I think later on in my scan, it said, I don't know, do something about working on your breath. And so when you're looking at that, just again, little information like, oh, my heart is feeling a bit stressed from these things. Increase hydration. Well, Probably it's winter. Chances are I could stand to use a little bit more hydration. Now, the other side of that is if you get this in your report and over you see increased hydration, you're saying, I drink my body weight in ounces of water. Why does this keep saying that? Well, sometimes our body doesn't absorb all the water we drink, right? It's like pouring water on top of a cracked soil. If you started off not hydrated and you're just guzzling water, you're not sipping it throughout the day, your body is not going to receive the hydration. So, what you may need to do is add a little bit of Celtic sea salt. You might need an electrolyte. There could be other factors involved where in your inner voice scan, it's saying you need increased hydration, even though you drink a lot of water. So we know now in 2025 that hydration isn't just about drinking water, it's also the food that we eat. If you're someone who maybe doesn't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, you don't get the water from your food, your body could be dehydrated. If you eat more meats and potatoes and fried foods, you're not getting the hydration that is required. So that's just a little tip on the imbalances and suggestions. But really, the takeaway is we're looking for patterns, we're looking at frequency, we're not looking at chemistry, and we're certainly not diagnosing. This is for informational purposes only, just to see for myself, like, oh, I might have been feeling more stress at that moment. So, as I mentioned, doing this 5, 6, 7 times will help you start to see these are the things I struggle with the most versus, okay, my liver's falling to pieces. It's not. Could I use a pre-meal enzyme? Probably, especially if I don't take one. So I hope that that was helpful for you. The biggest thing I want you to take away is enjoy your inner voice. Look at your report, understand it's just information. Don't get too stuck in the weeds, as I like to say. Do it often, right? Maybe have another inner voice in a week. If you have your own subscription, do it every day. And over 21 days, 2 months, 3 months, you'll begin to see things shift. You'll begin to feel things shift. So with that, I hope that you have an amazing time with your inner voice. And I hope that you're so blessed today by it. See you next time.